Never compromise. Not even in the face of Armageddon.
Today we are going to talk about a masked vigilante, a detective, and a symbol of justice, who is also a violent loner, a misanthrope, and a ticking time bomb. He is Rorschach, the ink-blot masked anti-hero from the iconic graphic novel and cinematic masterpiece, Watchmen. Needless to say, he's the most disturbing and fascinating character in Watchmen. Rorschach isn't a typical hero. He's a mix of contradictions with a troubled past and a strict moral code that never changes. As we learn more about him, we'll discover the complexities of his character and explore the blend of darkness and light that makes him who he is. Let's get started. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Rorschach? Rorschach's real name is Walter Kovacs. He was born in 1940 to a prostitute mother and an unknown father. He had a difficult childhood, and he was often abused by his mother and her clients. This abuse led to him developing a twisted sense of morality and a belief that the world is rotten. Rorschach believes in clear right and wrong, like black and white, with no gray areas in between. He is a skilled detective and a fighter. He is also a ruthless vigilante who is not afraid to kill. He believes that the ends justify the means, and he is willing to do whatever it takes to bring down evil. Rorschach is a complex and controversial character. He is a hero to some and a villain to others.
Arrest me! I did it! I said I did it! Christ!
He is a reminder that even the most well-intentioned people can be capable of great evil. Having a bit of mystery in his backstory, we know a few things that he believes in. 1. The world is a dark and evil place, and it is necessary to fight against it. 2. Violence is sometimes necessary to achieve justice. 3. People are inherently corrupt and selfish. 4. Only the strong survive. So, what do you think? Is he a hero, or is he just another sad boy turned evil type of villain? Why does he wear a mask? Would he die without his mask? He wears a mask because deep down he's just an edgy, emo teenager. No, we're just kidding. Well, for starters, the reference to his name is hidden in his mask itself. You see, Rorschach's mask is made of ink blots, which are a reference to the Rorschach test, a psychological test that is used to assess a person's personality. The ink blots are meant to represent the darkness and chaos of Rorschach's mind. The ink blots on the mask are constantly shifting and changing, just like Rorschach's own thoughts and emotions. The mask is a way for Rorschach to hide his true self from the world, and it also serves as a reminder of the darkness that he sees in the world. It's not all philosophical though. The mask hides his identity and allows him to operate anonymously. This is important to him because he believes that he is a symbol of justice, and he does not want his personal life to interfere with his work. He too believes in a good work-life balance. The mask is also a way for Rorschach to protect himself from the horrors that he sees.
Pretty butterfly.
As a vigilante, Rorschach often witnesses violence and depravity. The mask helps him to keep these images at bay and to maintain his sanity. However, with great masks comes great solitude. The mask is a major cause of Rorschach's isolation. It makes him anonymous and separate from society. Maybe he's not a villain, maybe he's just lonely. As for whether he would die without his mask, it's not a matter of physical survival, but rather the essence of his identity. Rorschach's mask is an integral part of who he is. It conceals his face, his true self, and his past, allowing him to not compromise with his code of justice. How does his mask work? Rorschach's mask is made of a special fabric. It's basically a two-layer fabric with vicious black and white fluids trapped between them. The fluids are constantly moving due to the heat of Rorschach's body and the pressure he is applying to the mask. The patterns formed by the fluids are symmetrical, and they never mix to form gray. The mask is also heat and pressure resistant, making it durable and bulletproof. It can withstand a lot of damage, which is important for Rorschach, as he often finds himself in dangerous situations. The mask is also a symbol of Rorschach's identity. He considers it to be his true face, and he never removes it in front of anyone. This shows how important the mask is to him and how it represents his commitment to his beliefs.
Tell me about Rorschach. Will you do that, Walter?
You keep calling me Walter. I don't like you.
If you think about it, in certain ways, it is fair to say that the mask is indeed Walter Kovacs' real face, because the bodily fluids respond to his expressions. Without the mask, he rarely displays any other emotions other than rage or apathy. Does he have any mental disorders? You know what they say, Everyone's a little mentally ill, and that's okay. Anyway, Rorschach is a complex character with a dark and troubled past. Naturally, he has suffered from a few mental disorders which are likely the result of a combination of factors, including his childhood trauma, his experiences as a vigilante, and his own personality traits. His most notable disorders are paranoid personality disorder. This is a personality disorder characterized by distrust and suspicion of others. People with paranoid personality disorder often believe that they are being persecuted or that others are out to get them. Schizoid personality disorder. This is a personality disorder characterized by detachment from social relationships and a restricted range of emotions. People with schizoid personality disorder often seem indifferent to others and may have difficulty expressing emotions. On top of that, Rorschach's childhood trauma seems to have a profound impact on his personality. He seems to have a twisted point of view on women, as he was abused by his mother. He developed a deep distrust of women, believing that they were all capable of the same kind of deception and manipulation that his mother had shown him. He often referred to women as whores or sluts, and he saw them as objects of disgust and contempt. What is Rorschach's mass killer theory? Rorschach's mass killer theory is the belief that someone is killing costume superheroes. The theory began when Rorschach investigated the murder of the comedian, a former superhero. Rorschach found no evidence of a motive for the murder, and he began to suspect that the comedian was killed because he was a superhero. His theory was further supported by the assassination attempt on Ozymandias, another former superhero. This led Rorschach to believe that the mass killer was targeting all costume superheroes. How does Rorschach demonstrate remarkable pain tolerance? Rorschach demonstrates remarkable pain tolerance in several ways throughout the Watchmen comics. He is beaten and tortured by the police, but he refuses to give up information. Rorschach's pain tolerance is likely due to a combination of factors, including his physical strength, his mental toughness, and his determination to never give up. He is also a very private person, which is probably why he's a detective. He does not like to show weakness, even in the face of pain. He is willing to endure great pain in order to do what he believes is right. This makes him a very dangerous person because, for him, his opinion is the right thing rather than the objective truth sometimes. Why does Rorschach write a journal? Rorschach's journal is a window into the mind of a deeply troubled individual. He mostly uses it to keep track of his thoughts and experiences. Rorschach is a very private person, and he does not like to talk about himself. His journal is a way for him to process his thoughts and feelings, and to make sense of the world around him. Also, he uses the journal to document his investigation into the comedian's murder. Rorschach is convinced that the comedian's murder was not a random act of violence, but was instead a part of a larger conspiracy. His journal is a way for him to keep track of his investigation and to record the evidence he has gathered. Rorschach is a deeply committed individual, and he believes that his beliefs are important. His journal is a way for him to leave a record of his beliefs, so that others may know them after he's gone. He believes that he is a force for good in the world, and that he has a duty to fight for justice. His journal is a way for him to document his journey, and to ensure that his work will not be forgotten. All in all, the more we know about him, the more we realize how highly he thinks of himself. Maybe all of us could do with a little self-esteem.
Suddenly you discover humanity.
What keeps his will unbreakable? Rorschach's childhood experiences of violence and abuse have made him a very hard person. He is not easily shaken, and he is not afraid of pain or suffering. His transformation into Rorschach led to a fierce will to see that all criminals were brought to justice. He continued his vigilante businesses even after masked heroes lost their appeal and were outlawed. Rorschach, according to Veidt, possessed the determination of an actual sociopath. Rorschach made it obvious that he never compromised in the last entry of his diary. For example, he refused to hide the truth about Ozymandias' plan because it went against his commitment to punishing bad people. He stuck to this ideal, even when the world seemed like it might end, as he wrote in his fourth journal entry. Dryberg hinted when talking to Hollis Mason that Rorschach would only stop being a vigilante when he would no longer be alive. Is he immortal? No, he's just a human being. If anything, Rorschach's death is one of the most significant events in Watchmen. It is a reminder of the dangers of vigilante justice, and it also raises questions about the nature of truth and justice. His death is caused by his refusal to compromise his beliefs. He is convinced that the murder of Edward Blake, also known as the comedian, was not a random act of violence, but was instead a part of a larger conspiracy. He also believes that Ozymandias, one of the world's most powerful superheroes, is involved in the conspiracy. Rorschach's investigation leads him to Ozymandias' Manhattan apartment, where Ozymandias reveals to him that he has created a giant squid monster that he plans to detonate in New York City. The squid monster will kill millions of people, but it will also unite the world against a common enemy. Rorschach refuses to accept Ozymandias' plan. He believes that the deaths of millions of people are not justified, even if it means saving the world. He decides to expose Ozymandias' plan, even though he knows it will mean his own death. Rorschach is captured by Dr. Manhattan, who is quite a powerful individual. Dr. Manhattan takes Rorschach to Antarctica, where he vaporizes him, knowing that he will not stop trying to expose the truth. He is a flawed individual, but he is also a hero. His death is a reminder that even the best of us can make mistakes. Marvelous verdict. And there you have it, the intriguing story of Rorschach. He's a character who never backed down from his beliefs, even when the world around him grew uncertain. His determination to uncover the truth, no matter the cost, made him stand out in the Watchmen universe. But Rorschach was no ordinary hero. He continued his fight against crime when others had given up, even facing off against the police. His story is a reminder that heroes can come in different forms. Rorschach lived and literally died by his principles, and we appreciate him for that. That's it for today, folks. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.